In this video, we're going to talk about SEO in a competitive industry. So if you're wondering how to get your content ranking on Google when you're in a competitive industry, you can use some of these tips we're going to cover today. So first, you're going to need to have a blog on your website. So if your website doesn't have a blog, you're going to need to create a blog, and these different blog posts that you're putting onto your blog are what's going to help you rank for different key term phrases that people search in Google. And that's how you're going to start getting some traffic and generating leads and sales to your business. Now, one tip we're going to go over today is a roundup blog post. So below, I'm going to teach you what the roundup styled blog post is and why it's effective when you're trying to do SEO in a competitive industry. We're going to talk about creating in-depth content, improving title and meta tags to boost click-through rates, and I've got 2 bonus tips for you as well. So to get started, let's talk about the roundup blog post. So let's say you're a real estate agent and you're trying to create articles on your website. One idea is to do a roundup blog post where you email other realtors in the industry and you ask them a simple question like what their view is on the housing market or any tips they might have for first-time home buyers. So let's say you're going to build out a first-time home buyer guide and you want to have a little resource section in there where it's all the different tips and opinions of other realtors. So you could email all these realtors, ask them this question, and that's how you round up a bunch of answers. So you start collecting different responses, and then you're going to put those in your blog post. Now, when you get done writing your article, you're going to send it back to all the different realtors that responded and gave you feedback that you included their answer in your article. And then you're going to let them know that your article is complete. That way they can look at it, read it, and then share it on social media. And that's how you can get some initial traffic to your website by getting social media shares from other agents that were part of the article. And the reason this is effective is that Google likes to use social signals as part of its ranking factors. Now, there's lots of different ranking factors, but when Google sees that a blog post is getting shared, that also kind of indicates that it's important content. So that helps on the terms of SEO when you're trying to rank out in Google. And then not only that, but you're getting this initial traffic coming to your blog post from those different social media shares, and Google will then watch how users behave on your website. So if users are coming through from these different social media shares from other realtors and they're reading your blog post and they're on your website a while, that's going to give some more good signals to Google that it's a quality blog post, and it can help your average time on page and different ranking factors like that Google then could use to help you boost your SEO out on Google. So there are some side benefits of having a roundup style blog post, getting you some initial traffic from social media. Next, let's talk about creating in-depth content. So the next best way to have SEO in a competitive industry to rank for different keyword terms to get traffic is to just create in-depth content. So again, going with the real estate niche, if you're writing a first-time homebuyer's guide, you're going to want to create a massive guide, something that's, probably 3,000, 4,000, 5,000 words long. All right, so you can just look around at competitors. So for example, whatever keyword phrase you're trying to target, like if I was doing a first-time homebuyer's guide, I'm just going to type that into the Google search bar, and we're going to see what different guides come up first in the Google search results. So we've got NerdWallet, 17 tips for first-time homebuyers. We've got Dave Ramsey. We've got first-time homebuyer's guide by Mortgage Reports. So we could just click into one of these guides to take a look at how their guide's laid out, what they cover, what topics, and then you can use that as a template to create your guide. But you can round up some different ideas from clicking on multiple search results. So we could come back out here and click on some of these other guides. So for example, Lenders Network created a first-time homebuyer's guide 2019. And we're just going to basically do a bunch of competitor research, seeing what kind of content they included, looking at their headings, how they broke up their article, what different sections they included in their article. So we can kind of take notes and kind of plan out our article so that, when we begin to write it, we have a good idea of all the different content we want to use in the article to make it just as in-depth and make it very thorough. And the more thorough your content is, the more useful it is, the more questions it answers for the searcher, the better it's going to perform in Google. And that's how you can outrank competitors. All right, and the reason in-depth content does really well is that Google likes to use it to answer the beginner questions very thoroughly. So if a beginner just types something in like, how to sell my home or how to buy a home, and you could answer that question in a nice little guide. But if you go more in depth and you add all these additional topics and additional questions that you think that a first-time home buyer might have, now you're getting even more thorough, and that's going to help boost you up the rankings ahead of your competitors who might have wrote a weaker blog article that didn't cover as many topics or as many questions. So another thing to do to get ideas for different keywords to try to include in your article is to look up your competitor URL, and you can look up their keyword density. So I've talked about this before in a couple other tutorials I've got. You can go back and find the one, but I use a tool called SEO Quake, and it's a little Google Chrome browser extension. So once you install it to your Google Chrome browser, the little SEO Quake is right here with the SQ. We're going to click on that, and it's going to open up some data and information about this web page and about this website. So starting off, we can see their backlinks they have coming, so we can see how strong their competitor website is. We can also look at the specific URL and see that they've built up a lot of backlinks and referring domains to it. But more importantly, we can come over here to the density tab with this tool, and it's going to open up a page that lets us know all the different word densities that are on that blog post. So you can see they've used the word home, 2.4% density, so 44 times they used it. They used credit, 39 times. They use loan, 24 times. So it lets you know how many times that word is throughout their article. So you can start to see different words they're using in their article, and you can mirror this if they're the one that's ranking already high on Google for these different keywords. Then you can kind of mirror what they're doing by including these different words in your article as well. You kind of want to scatter them throughout the article. You also want to use them in your headings. You can see here where they found it. So some of these are in their headings. So H1 headings, there's H2 headings, H3 headings, there's titles. You can use some keywords in your title and meta description, which we're going to get into next. So it also shows their title right here, so you can see what title they used for their article, what meta description they used for their article. That's going to show up out here on the Google results. So that's where their title is, that's where their meta description is, and that's what gets people to click through. So you can use that tool to basically look at your competitor's page to kind of mirror it using different keywords that they're using, as well as adding in some of your own fresh new keywords that you think up when you go on to add additional topics and make your article even more in-depth and more thorough. So overall, that's the best way to get ranking on Google to beat out your competitors in a competitive industry. Is just to create more in-depth content, and you're going to have more chances to rank for different keywords. But you also want to copy, similar density and similar amounts of times you use the word in your article that you saw your competitors using those keywords in their article. Last tip here before we get into the bonus tips is boosting your click-through rate. So we talked a little bit about what the title tag is and what the meta description is. It's basically just the title that shows up here that somebody's going to read before they decide to click on your search result. It's also the meta description here that they read before clicking, so they can see what your article might be about. So you want to improve your title tag and meta descriptions. This is how you can boost your click-through rate. If people are scanning down the search results and they're reading these, very first result here says first-time home buying guide. The next one says 17 tips for first-time home buyers. Out of these two, I'm probably going to click on the first-time home buying guide because that's what I want. I want the ultimate guide. I want some kind of big ultimate resource when I search this phrase, first-time home buyer's guide. So just 17 tips, that doesn't seem like it's going to be enough for me. I want the inclusive, all-time, big-time guide that I can read as a resource. So that's what you would do here. You would just look down the results, see what they used for their titles, your competitors, and then figure out, what you think the most crafty, most curiosity is going to spark on the title that you choose. And that could get you maybe outranking these guys. Let's say you're down here at the 4 position. If you have the better title, more people scrolling the search results are going to see your title and your meta description, and they're going to be more curious what your article's about. And over time, when they start clicking on your article, that's going to tell Google your article's more important than the other articles ranking first, second, and third. And that's how you're going to move up the rankings to that first position eventually. So that's our next tip, boost click-through rates. When you get your click-through rates going higher and higher, that's also going to send you up the rankings so that you can outrank your competitors. All right, here's our first bonus tip in your article. You can also add a YouTube video to the article. So once you get done writing the helpful guide or the helpful article, if you also create a video for it, whether that's like an animated video that you spend some money having somebody produce for you, maybe you hop on camera and you share, some basic tips from the article, or you could have, somebody else make a professional video for you. But when you create this video and you upload it to YouTube and Google, they're, together. YouTube is owned by Google. So anytime you throw YouTube videos into blog posts, Google likes that. It's probably one of their ranking factors. And if you put the SEO, title in your video and then throw that into your article as well, that helps when Google scans your article and they see the video and they see what the title of the video is. And that helps add relevance to your blog post so that they know what your article is about and they can help boost it in the rankings for, that topic or those different keywords. So that's another thing to do. In addition to embedding the video into the blog post where somebody just scrolls the blog post and sees the video to click on, you can also externally link it out to the video on YouTube itself. That way they can also click over to YouTube to watch the video. So you can just try both those where you have it embedded and you're linking out to it externally if they wanted to click the link to leave your website to go over to YouTube to watch that same video. All right, and again, make sure that you've got, the title of your YouTube video having to do with similar to what your blog post is so that the keywords kind of match up there. And then bonus tip number 2 is to go on to Pinterest. So this is the other search engine. So you can get more social shares right away to your article by pumping it out onto Pinterest. And that's going to help boost your SEO for Google later. Your pins also that you put out on Pinterest can rank in Google. So you can also get clicks, back to your website eventually by having Pinterest pins rank in Google, or your boards or your profile on Pinterest rank in Google, and people find you that way and then they end up on your website, and that's how you can get traffic as well. But the main thing is that putting your article out on Pinterest is a good way to get it some initial social shares and some of that social credibility going that helps your rankings then in Google. It gets people on your website so that Google can start judging the user experience, seeing how fast the web page loads, how long they spend on your page, any additional actions they take. So Google's going to be looking at that data coming from the social media traffic, and that's going to help it then determine if your article's worthy of ranking out on Google. So kind of similar to how we did the roundup post, sharing it with realtors so they could put it out on their social media to drive some initial traffic. You can also drive your own initial social media traffic from Pinterest. So you want to create vertical pin images. There's templates, like if you sign up on Canva, which is what I'm on right now for this slideshow, you can find a Pinterest template. And then once you upload that pin into your Pinterest account, you want to optimize the title and the description of the pin before publishing it to make sure that it kind of lines up with what your blog post is about. And you also want to use rich pins, which we've got another tutorial that'll show you how to set up rich pins, but that pulls different title and meta descriptions from your blog post so that on Pinterest knows what the pin's about as well. So it's kind of a way to double do it so that you can make sure Google knows what your pin's about and you can make sure Pinterest knows what your pin's about, and this can help you get more traffic and better rankings to your article. So that's going to be it for today's topic on what different SEO tips you can do to rank in a competitive industry. So start off creating a blog on your website. Start off with roundup style posts or big in-depth thorough guides, and you could include a roundup section within that guide as well. And then blast that guide out as a resource to different people that responded and gave you feedback or you collected responses from in your roundup post, and they can share the article out, and you might even build some backlinks to it, which could help give it some more, credibility in the eyes of Google. You also want to improve your click-through rates by working on your title and meta descriptions so that you can eventually start outranking your competitors by getting more of the clicks when people type in different search phrases. If you find yourself ranking further down the page in that 4, 5, 6, 7 slot, you can eventually move up by getting the better click-through rates. And then we talked about adding it to YouTube, adding it to Pinterest. That way you can drive some traffic from these platforms, but they all kind of sync together in a way that Google's going to look at, that you've got a YouTube video. They're going to look that you're getting social media shares from Pinterest. And they're also search engines, so people can find you on YouTube. They can find you on Pinterest by searching different keywords, just like they can find you on Google. So it's a way to capture some additional traffic. All right, so my name's Nick Foy. Thanks for being here today, giving me your time, your attention. If you found the video helpful, make sure to give it a thumbs up, and I'll see you guys in the next video.
Yo, check this out. So if you type in asknickfoy.teachable.com, asknickfoy.teachable.com, when you hit enter, it's going to open up my resource library. So I've been working on tons of training video modules, and I put them together in these different courses. And you can go over here to asknickfoy.teachable.com and you can learn how to start a website that makes money. So this is called Profitable Blogger. You can also learn how to make money from social media like Pinterest. You can also learn real estate investing. So these are 3 ways I currently make money right now. I'm making $6,000 to $7,000 a month. I've already come out with a video showing you how I was making $1,400 a week a little while back, and we're on pace to eventually get to $10K a month passive income through websites, through social media, and through real estate investing. So these 3 methods combined, I created these 3 training courses. You can go here to asknickfoy.teachable.com to check them out, and I look forward to seeing you guys on the inside when you enroll in them. Yo, before you go, make sure you are subscribed to the channel, Nick Foy TV. If you hover the lower right corner of your video right now, you're gonna see the little red subscribe button. When you hover that, it's gonna pop up that subscribe button, and it would mean a lot. I already appreciate you gave me your time, your attention today, but if you could also hit that subscribe button, support the channel, and smash the like button, as they all say in every YouTube video. So smash the like button, hit subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video.